Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. Welcome to the players meeting for the Welcome Back warm-up that's presented by Innova at Raptors Knoll. What we want to do here right now is just quickly go through some of the check-in procedure, also the course layout, the OBs, that kind of thing. So let's dig right into it. So we have, I want everybody, if you could, to arrive 30 minutes prior to your tee time. Your tee times are currently posted on the pdga.com. They are unofficial. They will become official Friday evening. So please check in before you go to bed. The hope is that we will have all the tee times posted by 4 p.m. Friday as official, and there will be a post about that. Your team location is in the start column on the pdj.com. So it's very simple. It says RK10 blue, which means you're teeing off on hole 10 to start. You're playing the blue pads. If it says RK1 red, you're teeing off on hole 1, and you're going to be playing from the red pads. The second round will be posted manually on a sheet of paper at the scoring tent. That will be a place where you can check in. They will get it up as soon as possible. The likelihood of me being there to do it is pretty low just because I'll be out playing myself. But both Chris and Nancy, who have volunteered their day, and please say thank you to them when you do that. So they'll be able to put that up manually as fast as possible. The scoring. So scoring, we're going to be doing live scoring. You can find the scorecard on your phone at www.pdj.com/score. The password to access it, I'm not sure if it's case sensitive, but it is cap locks welcome. This will get you access to live scoring. We implore everyone as much as possible to do the live scoring. It makes the scoring job and the starting job for the next round and turning around tee time just so much faster when we don't have to double count all of the numbers on your scorecards and then input them into the system. But rather, this tracks directly into our tour manager and allows us to kick out tee times way, way, way faster. However, with that said, per PDGA rules, paper cards will be available if you will require those. So check in with the scoring if you're going to need that. You can also follow along at home if your spouse or you want to follow along your child's play and so forth. You can follow along at www.pdj.com/live, and that is only be able to follow those that are doing live scoring. So a couple of things is we have a lot of new players that are here for the first time playing their first ever event. So I want to go over just some basics. The very first basic is that the tee pads, the line on the tee pad that separates the gray concrete and the stained surface is actually the foot fault area. So you're supposed to throw from behind that etched line that's in the tee box before. If you step into the stained area and throw from there, that would be considered a foot fault. The OB and hazard lines. With the PDGA rules, the line itself is actually out of bounds. And at Raptors Knoll, we have quite a few lines that are thicker than a string line. For instance, the hazards that you find on hole 7, for instance, it's got a brick line. Well, the brick is the line, which means your disc must be in the fairway beyond the brick line for it to be considered to be safe. So I'll repeat, the line itself is out of bounds. Okay, so if you're drawing a line visually between two white stakes for out of bounds, the line that the 2-inch post makes up is the out of bounds line. So you must be beyond it. You must surpass that line and be into the fairway to be considered safe. There are occasionally white stakes that have red tips on them. Those red tips are what we call infinity stakes. And you will draw a line visually from the previous white stake to the red stake and then continue that line to infinity. And that will be the out of bounds line. Okay, we did that so we didn't have to put a million stakes in the ground. It comes into play. Well, hopefully it won't come into play for anybody, but you'll find them on hole 10, hole 2. There's one on hole 13, I believe. So yeah, if you come across that, that's how you handle a red tipped stake. Okay, let's go over the course. So any out of bounds that is not described in this players meeting is not out of bounds for the tournament, despite how you and your friends may play the course or have interpreted the out of bounds previously. So first and foremost, all of the white stakes delineate out of bounds on all holes exactly as they're staked in the ground when you're playing your round. So I'm just going to say that for now. I'm not going to describe all the white stake out of bounds that are on every hole of the course, but rather the white stakes for all holes as staked on your round will be the out of bounds. So let's talk about some other things. So on hole 1, we are playing the B pin position. You can see here with the arrow. There's a mando at the corner of the fence if you're playing gold or blue, so you cannot throw down the path here. There is a brick line that is in the ground that runs on the left side of the swale all the way around like this. That you must be left of that to be in play, or beyond it if you go through the trees down here by good, chance. Let me just turn that on silent so we don't get that disruption again. And then the white stakes. Now, also on this hole, there is a staked area that you will find that is up by the, it's not staked, sorry, but it's a fenced area. And the fence and beyond obviously is out of bounds. But the fenced area around the pump station is out of bounds. There is 2 containers that you will find on the right side of the fairway and beyond the pin. There is 4x4 treated lumber that surrounds both of those structures. That is the out of bounds line there. That is a safety out of bounds. We're not having anybody play from under those structures. So if you find yourself contained in the wood chipped area that is delineated by 4x4 treated lumber, you are out of bounds. Okay. Moving on to hole 2. In the case of hole 2, we are playing the B pin, as you see here, okay? There's no crazy, jumping back for a second. If you go out of bounds on your drive from gold or blue, your choices are point of entry or the drop zone. The drop zone is the red pad, okay? Hole 2, if you're playing blue and gold and you go out of bounds on your drive, again, your choices are point of entry or the drop zone. The drop zone, again, up here is listed as the red pad, okay? There's no additionally staked areas that are or out of bounds to know about other than the white stakes here. On hole 3, we're playing the B pin again. You can see here, there is no out of bounds listed on this one. And we're going to play it that way on Saturday as well. Moving on to hole 4, we're playing the A pin. There is no out of bounds on this hole. On hole 5, we are playing the A pin again. And this one has out of bounds that is connected on the left side of the fairway by the white stakes. There is no specialty out of bounds or mandos to know about on hole 5. I guess if you somehow get it over the chain link fence, if you're off the property, I should just say, if you find yourself off the property delineated by a chain link fence or some other structure, you are out of bounds. So I think that's pretty common, but I just want to make that clear for all holes. That comes into play. I doubt it'll come into play on 5, but it might come into play on hole 12, for instance. Hole 6, we are playing the A pad. Again, no mandos, no out of bounds to know about. There is the chain link fence that you have on the right side of gold should you get a bad kick. That would be off the property. Hole 7, we are playing the A pin again. And this one, again, it's fairly clear. There's a brick line in that surrounds the hazard. Remember, the brick is the line. You must be on the fairway side to be safe. Hole 8, we're playing the only pin position that exists. The hazard on this particular, and I should mention a hazard for those that are maybe new and joining us for the first time, you play it where it lies with 1 penalty stroke. Whereas if you're in the out of bounds area, you take point of entry or drop zone, per the PDGA rules. And so you actually don't play from where the disc lies, but you do in a hazard. The hazard here is delineated by the bricks on the front edge, leading edge, the top of the wood structure on the underside of the wing, and there will be a rope or string line installed today or tomorrow that will delineate the line on the rock face. So if you find yourself inside the quote unquote armpit of the eagle, you will be between the bricks, the top of the wood structure, and the string line that will make a shape as shown kind of in this photograph on how that works. Hole 9, A pin. Not much to really describe here. One time we have been asked, do the white stakes on hole 17 on the backside of the green play for hole 9? The answer is no, they do not. Okay, so there is no OB on hole 9. Getting to the back 9, hole 10. OB is pretty clear. There's an infinity stake on the left-hand side of the fairway. There's the, obviously the line of the fence. And you can see this area is really safe by 11 gold. And it's staked this way, as you can see. This actually diagram shows very well what our OB looks like on hole 10. But we are playing that. There is a triple mando if you are playing the blue and the yellow. Your disc must pass through the structure that is laid out there. The drop zone for missing that structure or missing that mando is the center between the posts, okay? Not beyond the posts. You can be up to 12 feet behind it. Anywhere inside the structure is where you'll be able to throw as your next shot with a penalty. Hole 11, we're playing the B pin. This one, it's the white stakes and the hazard line. It should be fairly clear. There are no mandos. Hole 12, we're playing the A. The out of bounds is basically the chain link fence that you would find on this hole for going off the property. Hole 13, if you are playing the gold pads, there is a mando that is the center thickest trunk of the tree. Shouldn't really come into play. It might from time to time, but you must pass it on the left side. Not showing on this diagram is the new out of bounds that was installed earlier this year on the left-hand side of the fairway on that last leg, the finishing leg. We're playing the B pin here. So again, just keep in mind all of the white stakes, not yellow, all of the white stakes delineate the out of bounds. Hole 14, the island toll that is sort of an island, but you can see it is safe if you throw it way left beyond the staked edge. And the drop zone, the way this one works is if you're playing gold and blue and you do not get a lie on the island, you must proceed to the drop zone. That is the red pad. If you are teeing off on red or you've already thrown out of bounds from blue or gold and you go to red, once you've thrown from there, if you miss the island, you proceed to a secondary drop zone or your next drop zone, which is marked by 2 orange bricks in the ground down below the creek, right about in this area right here, okay? From that position, if you miss the island again, you will play point of entry into the out of bounds. So that could be, next to the basket. We're playing the A basket in this case. Hole 15. There's a mandatory on the right-hand side of the fairway, very clearly marked. Thanks for Skippy and everybody who had built that sign. Thanks for Rick rebuilding it when you broke it. You must pass it on the left, okay? If you miss the mando, you go to the drop zone, which is marked again by 2 orange bricks in the ground, and you play from there with penalty stroke. As you play this hole, there is an area on the upslope of the fairway that is mowed, and it is separated by bricks. They might be a little bit in the ground, but they are there, so look for them. This is a hazard area. So a point of interest here, if you are in the fairway and you throw your disc and it travels over top of the hazard area, but does not make it inbounds at the top, it is never crossed into play in the upper island, your point of entry, your point of entry is actually in the hazard. You do not get penalized twice. You'll take your penalty shot for the out of bounds. You will take your lie within the hazard without an additional penalty stroke, and you will play from there. Okay, so keep in mind, if you travel your disc up the hill over the hazard but not into play, you do not need to be playing from the bottom of the hill. In fact, you would be against the rules to be playing from the bottom of the hill, but your point of entry into the out of bounds is actually somewhere within the hazard. Okay, and then hazards play. We're playing the A pin in this one, as this is a warm up. We're choosing a couple of easier pins. As the BC Open will likely put something out that is a much more difficult layout. Hole 16, we're playing the B pin. Nothing, crazy to know about in this case. It's pretty well marked. There's no mandos. On hole 17, we are playing the A pin. Again, really well marked OB on this hole. The stakes line all the way around the fairway. And then on hole 18, we are playing the A pin. Now with hole 18, the fence line at the top of the hill is not the out of bounds line. The out of bounds line is marked by stakes that go down the hill and tie in to the brick line. And then there's an infinity stake at the end of the brick line to delineate the line going out of bounds. So you can be down the hill on the slope left of the bunker that's up by the pin and still be in play, provided you are on the fairway side of the hazard, or fairway side of the bricks and fairway side of the white stakes. Okay. Some context while you're out on the course or in the meantime. So Nancy Hamilton has graciously offered to help us, and she's going to be handling checking in and scoring. Chris Klimko is coming back, and he's going to be doing some starting and helping with tee times. Both these individuals are fantastic. Both understand the game very well. Both will be able to help you if you can't find myself if I'm out playing. If you need to email me between now and the event, you can reach me at the email address that's on your screen, and we can answer any questions that are needed. Now, one point of interest, ratings. With how we are running this event, and this is true of all events, but all ratings are unofficial until they've been received by the PDGA. But in particular for this event, the ratings will be quite wonky to start until the event is complete and I have a chance to get into the backside of the tour manager to make some layout adjustments. So please do not ask, I played from reds, I shot this score, somebody else played from reds, they shot this score, our ratings are 30 points apart, what's going on? Look, we understand this could be the case, but they will be fixed later, so please be patient with us. Okay, something pretty cool. One of the things we want to do is bring back a little bit of an old tradition that was always around when I first started playing disc golf, and that is we're going to do random flip doubles the evening before the event. So Friday, 6 p.m. sharp, we will be doing random flip. The cost to play is $5, 1, and 1, $5 to the prize pool, $1 to the A spot, $1 to the club. In this case, it's Raptors Knoll. We are playing the blues, and it is open to everyone. It's not open just to the people playing the event or members of the disc golf course. It is open to anybody who wants to come out and play some random flip doubles at Raptors Knoll Disc Golf Park. If the ace pot is not hit, that is from this doubles event, that ace pot will not be thrown off that evening. It's going to get carried over into the event. Okay. And then if anybody hits an ace throughout the event, that will be added to the ace pot if you are in the ace pot. So with that said, really looking forward to getting events back underway, and look forward to seeing everybody on the weekend. If you have any questions at all, please email me. If you have questions about the layout, please do so. I think I've covered it fairly thoroughly, but there might be some interesting questions, at which point, we can make some determinations for you, and also at the same time, maybe get it out to everybody that's in the event too. Thanks so much, and we will see you on Saturday.